Hey there, guys. Dragon Master here, and I want to welcome you to Star Wars and Earth, Episode 7, called Codename Betrayal. I really don't have anything to say for the start of the video, so I want to get straight into the video. So, without a further ado, let's begin. We start off where we left at the end of Episode 6. Not really much will change in Star Wars the second movie of Star Wars, the Attack of the Clones, because the Terrans can't interfere in the war. So Hackett along with Anderson and Udina would be there when the explosion would happen at Padme's ship. But they would quickly rush over and would see that it was not Padme who was killed, but it was one of her. I forget what it's called. I don't know, but her doubles, yeah. So, and they would see Padme was okay, and they were glad, and they were also surprised at how this was happening. They had been here for an hour, and they didn't see any charges or anything. So, as the events of Attack of the Clones would continue, the Jedi would protect Padme, so they wouldn't send anyone, as they trusted the Jedi. They would just let everything play out, and the Clone Wars would officially start. Now that the Clone Wars had started, the timeline, it would be a year later after the Attack of the Clones, and the Terrans had been basically standing on the sidelines and watching all the events play out, as they didn't want to fight. They didn't want to interfere. So they would watch, but this would also be a time of growth for them, because due to the Terrans and their location in the unknown regions, many of the refugees that are people trying to flee the Clone Wars would head to Terran space. Basically, the UNSC would be busy with all these refugees. Also, many more, basically every company that didn't want to basically join the Republic or Separatists would head to the basically Terran space and move a lot of their business there. So the Terrans would be one of the few, factions making credits. Yeah. But not all things are good. Basically, the Separatists and the Republic, along with the Council of Neutral Systems, all basically wanted Terrans to basically join a side. The Republic wanted them to help them fight. The Separatists wanted them to help them fight, and the Council of Neutral Systems didn't want the Terrans basically in their group. They didn't like the Terrans, and that's why they wanted them to basically fight. And so they wouldn't lure either faction to them. So there would also be worser news. Palpatine, basically across the galaxy on Coruscant, Palpatine saw the Terrans growing. He saw how they were expanding, making more colonies, along with many refugees coming in and being sent to these colonies. And he had enough. His master Plagueis had warned him, and he knows that they killed him. So he knew they were a threat, and they were immune to many force attacks that directly attacked them. So Palpatine would contact Dooku, and Dooku actually bought from the Terrans. He bought their wine for the parties he would have in his free time. And Palpatine would basically tell him to attack Earth, basically Earth directly, as the Terrans were too focused and it wasn't as guarded. So Palpatine wanted Earth to be attacked and conquered, basically bring them to their knees or bring them to heel. And Dooku was a bit conflicted by this, as the Terrans had been very good to the Separatists. They had still been selling them. They had been selling to the Republic, but So Dooku was a bit, I don't know, he didn't really want to do this, but he knew Palpatine would kill him if he didn't follow his commands. But he also knew it wasn't an easy job to get to Earth. There was only one hyperspace route, and it was through Empress Tida. But luckily, he had support on Empress Tida. So he would contact the basically parts of the government that supported him, while their separatist leanings Empress Tida had, and ask them to allow a small separatist fleet to go through and attack Earth. He didn't want to attack the colonies. Earth was their main base, or headquarters was the main place. So, if they conquered Earth, the rest of the colonies would have no choice but to surrender. So they would agree, and he would assemble a small army led by one of the separatist councilmen. The separatist council, basically didn't really like them. The parliament of the separatists were fine with the Terrans, but the council of the separatists didn't like them. So one of the members would attack, and that would be the Trade Federation, Newt Gunray. He would lead this force. They would have assembled a small army. They would attack three of the largest cities, and I'll get into that to the next episode. Each army would be made up of 200,000 B1 droids, 100,000 B2 droids, 50,000 Dreadnoughtigas, I think they're called. I know they're hard to pronounce. And yeah, that would be it. And for the strike craft, or well, fighters, there would be a huge amount of Hyena and Vulture droids. So the fleet under Newt Gunray would sneak through the system, or sneak through Empress Tita with the help of the government without the Republic knowing. And the fleet would immediately jump, and they would make their way to Earth. On one of the ships, Anderson was on the ground while Hackett was enjoying a nice cup of coffee when all of a sudden the fleet would arrive and would immediately begin attacking. It was a small fleet, but it was still strong enough. And this would catch the United Nations Space Command completely by surprise. They would lose many ships, and they would be forced to make a quick retreat. Hackett would order a quick retreat, and they would immediately hyperspace away to a special location. And this would be a victory. The Separatists would see this as their victory and would immediately begin landing ships on the ground. They would head to the three largest cities. And they would quickly blockade the whole planet, and basically all hope was, well, basically lost for the people of Earth as they saw the Separatists blockade the planet. But United Nations Space Command didn't lose hope, as Anderson would assemble the army and prepare for the invasions. But across the basically secret location Hackett had jumped to, well, hyperspace to, it was something they had been building for, I guess, 6 years now. It was a certain, I guess, station. Some can call it a citadel, built under Ricotta Prime. This citadel was basically the secret base of operations if Earth was attacked. And Hackett would call everyone across the galaxy, all the Terrans, and immediately order them here as they were going to war. And that's where I'm going to end this video off. I want to say a few things. I'm so happy how the channel's been growing. We reached 70 subscribers. Also, I'm sorry if there are a few things about this video. I'm kind of feeling a bit under the weather, as you may. It's super hot in summer, so I kind of have a bit of a headache. So that's the reason if this video has some spotty things. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to say. So Please comment down below about this episode and also subscribe to the channel. And that will be all. Thank you.